So now, I'd like to talk about the Asian American and Pacific Islander Equity Initiative. They, they support all El Camino students in reaching their educational goal and career goals through mentorship, culturally engaged workshops, training, field trips, and learning community classes. In April, several students from El Camino and Compton, along with faculty and staff, presented in a national conference in Oakland with the title of their presentation, Elevating Our Voice, Empowered Pacific Islanders, Building Community. This is them at. Now, I'd like to talk about ASO and Interclub Council. Interclub Council supports activities on campus, clubs, and plans successful events such as Club Rush, blood drives, and club mixers. Also, ASO helps with increasing student involvement on campus, providing leadership opportunities, and increasing students to serve as elected representatives. Next, our program now is near and dear to my heart, the Student Ambassador Program. Student ambassadors are student leaders and help serve as an example for schools and other students. The program started with only 5 students in 2007, and now 10 years later, over 230 students have been part of the program. So very proud of them, and shout out to them. Speaking of student ambassadors, please help me welcome Okas Noeli and Angelica Hooper.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Okas Noeli. I'm a business major, a student ambassador, and a member of the El Camino football team.
I'm back. All right, are you all ready for some more t-shirts? All right. Students at El Camino and Compton are successful competitors as scholars and as athletes. Is this A, true, or B, false? Lock in your answers.
The correct answer is A, true. El Camino and Compton students are fierce competitors as scholars and as athletes. Here are just a few examples of some recent successes.
All right. The Honors Transfer Program here at El Camino College is one of the largest and most successful in the state in preparing highly motivated students for transfers to four-year universities. Last semester, El Camino College Honors students took home more scholarships and awards than any other college at the annual Honors Transfer Council of California Student Research Conference at UC Irvine. The El Camino Math Team, over 100 students competed in the American Mathematical Association of two-year colleges math contests last year. El Camino College took 9th place out of nearly 200 schools.
"2017 was a great year for El Camino athletics. The women's basketball team were South Coast Conference co-champions. The women's volleyball team were conference champions and made an appearance in the championship game. The softball team were conference champions, making a regional championship appearance. The baseball team were conference champions and also made an appearance in the state Final Four. The men's volleyball team were 2017 championship runner-ups. And now for the Compton men's basketball team, they had a tremendous year. They were South Coast Conference Division champions. That was actually the first conference championship since 2000. The team also featured the Division Coach of the Year, Coach Keith Higgins. The team also featured the Player of the Year, Javon Brown. And the team led the state in scoring, averaging 95 points per game. 7 out of the 8 sophomores received full scholarships to NCAA Division I and Division II schools.
You all are doing great on this pop quiz. Just one more question to go. So please help me in welcoming back Daniel Divinity and Cynthia Longoria. important question here. Both El Camino and Compton College are working to meet the nutritional needs of our students by opening food pantries. A for true and B for false. Okay, yeah, you better get that, man. Please lock in your answers. And the answer is true. Thank you. So Compton College is in the process of developing our own food pantry, and we hope to have it running by the middle of the semester, which is amazing because we just started the program last year.
And El Camino will open the Warrior Pantry this semester with an official ribbon cutting ceremony on October 16th. The pantry will be located in Physics 116, but donations can be made today during lunch. And thank you for the donations that we have already received. So the donations can be made on the library lawn and at various locations throughout the semester. And for more information, look at your flyer in your folder for the Warrior Pantry. Alright, students, so congratulations. You did very well on today's pop quiz. Keep your heads up because it's t-shirt time. So we're so sad to leave you, but it's my very great pleasure to introduce Ms. Jean Shankwater, the Vice President of Academic Affairs, and Barbara Perez, the Vice President of Compton College.
Now we know how to keep people awake, right? Throw things at you? All right, Barbara and I have a brief presentation on, now that you've gotten to meet our students and know our students, what are we going to keep doing to make them successful? So we have some initiatives from our chancellor's office and from the governor. They want to make sure our students are going to be a success. And there's two initiatives coming forward. I know you get this every year, a new initiative from the chancellor's office, but basically, guided pathways and strategic vision from the chancellor's office. And Dr. Maloney has said a few things about that already. We're going to keep it brief. We only have 35 slides. But basically, what we want to do is take some of the activities that have been ongoing and try to streamline them and provide a pathway to success for everyone. Guided pathways have 4 pillars. The first pillar is to clarify the pathway. In other words, we want to map all the programs for transfer and career so that the students can get detailed information on their careers and outcomes, that the students have progress milestones so that they know they're making progress in their program, and that the math and other coursework align with each other in their program of study. We want to get the students onto that pathway once we have the pathways established. And some of these things we're doing already, using multiple measures to assess students' needs. First year experiences to help the students explore the field and to choose their major. Partnerships with our K-12 neighbors in the school districts, which we heard about for the Promise programs. We want to help keep those students on the pathway. We want to improve our ongoing and maybe even intrusive advising. We want the systems for students so that they can easily track their progress. 15 to finish is a term you might hear. 15 units for fall, 15 units for spring. How do you get out of school in 2 years? This is one way to do it. We're going to be tracking that time and providing incentives. I think later on the students will hear about incentives for taking more units. Pell grants are going to give them more money to take more units. And maybe we can provide some incentives that way too, to take spring and summer in order to fill up that 15 if they need to. And we're going to need some ways to identify the students that are at risk, show them those milestones, and provide the support they need to go. And then we have to ensure that the students are learning along this pathway. Program-specific learning outcomes. We've been doing learning outcomes. We're getting really good at student learning outcomes. Now we need to focus more a little on the project or on the program outcomes. And aligning and improving maybe our teaching strategies that we have with all of this. So to measure how we're progressing along these pathways, there's some key indicators that are suggested. The number of college credits earned in the first term. The number of college credits earned in the first year. Completion of gateway courses like our math and English program. And the number of college credits, sorry, I think I already stated that. Persistence from term to term. So briefly, because we're a little bit behind on schedule, briefly some of the data we have to look at and what we want to try to improve. And I put Compton and El Camino on one slide because I didn't know we would be limited. In our degrees and certificates in 2015-16, you can see the number of degrees and certificates in total. So El Camino had 29, 37 degrees and certificates. Compton had 565. The median years to complete a degree was 4 years for Compton, 4 years to complete a 2-year degree. The median time for Compton was 3.9. That's a lot of time that the students are spending here, so we want to try to decrease that time to completion. Certificates were even higher for El Camino. Now that's a little harder to judge because certificates have different numbers of units. Compton did better, 2.7 years on theirs. So that's one metric that we're going to focus on, time to completion. Another metric that we want to look at is how long it takes the students, or what percentage of the students earn 30 units in a year, right? 15 to finish each semester, that would be 30 for the year. So we have Compton on the top line. Let's just look at the far right-hand column. In fall 2015, Compton had 966 students entering, and those consist of new to the college and attempting 9 units in their first semester. Only 5.1% completed 30 units by the end of that year. Only 5%. And at El Camino, the same criteria, new to the college and attempting at least 9 units, only 7% completed 30 units. So again, that's another metric we're going to work on to improve as we look through these guided pathways. A third metric was increasing the number of units that a student takes per semester. So this data here shows us the blue line is fewer than 6 units. That's a lot of students, 27%. It's like the highest percentage. Well, it's tied. Are taking fewer than 6 units, so we have a lot of part-time students. And the red is 6 to 8.9 units. The orange, 9 to 11.9 units. So we want to increase the orange, we want to increase that brown from 27%. Those are students taking 12 to 15 units. We want to get more people in the brown and the green. And it's surprisingly consistent over those 4 years. That's El Camino data. Compton data is surprisingly similar, also very consistent. Percentages are a little different, but what we want to do is increase the ones in the top. So those are the guided pathways. You'll hear more about those as the year goes on, and as Dr. Maloney said, Chris Wells and Cesar Jimenez are the chairs at El Camino College for this committee as we move forward into implementing guided pathways. But in the meantime, the Chancellor himself also sent out his strategic vision, and his goals are pretty drastic. He has 5 goals that he wants. In 5 years, this is from Chancellor Oakley, increase by 20% the number of students earning an associate degree, certificate, credential, or some skill set. Increase by 35% the number of community college students transferring to a UC or CSU. Now, these are system-wide goals from the Chancellor, but that translates to colleges making that same kind of improvement. He also has, in 5 years, a decrease in the number of units accumulated by the students, and that's the same thing, Essentially, we want them to take units that are applying toward their degree, not extraneous units, like my daughter who took 7 years because she kept getting sidetracked by shiny classes. Reduce the equity gaps. So we want students, all of our students, to be equally successful. And one of them that's not posted on here, they also want to increase job placement for students that are earning job skills. So I didn't get that put on here. I have a number of slides with data that just shows a projection trend in 5 years where we should be on degrees. This is El Camino data. Here's a projection trend on certificates for Compton College to get that 20% increase. And I'm going really fast. We'll send you these if you want them. Increasing transfers, remember the goal was 35% in 5 years, so this is what the trend line would look like for El Camino and for Compton College, to increase by 35% our transfers. So what are we doing? All of these things have been talked about today. The Guided Pathways Steering Committees, the Project Improvement Plan, Enrollment Management Plans. We have a certificates task force to try to increase our number of certificates. We've hired on with a consultant and EAB, and Educational Advisory Board consultants, to help us implement all of the great ideas that we have coming forward. So you'll hear a lot more about this, so that we have a lot more of successful students like we had that you got to see today. So, the next thing that we have is our recognitions. This is probably my favorite part of the year. We get to recognize tenured faculty, our work anniversaries, and also introduce the new faculty for this year. So, Barb, you're going to do the recognitions for newly tenured faculty at Compton.
I do want to add that Compton College also has a Guided Pathway Task Force. It is tri-chaired by Elizabeth Martinez, Vanessa Haynes, and myself. And we are kind of kicking off our process tomorrow at Compton with Dr. Thomas Bailey coming to on redesigning America's community colleges. So he will be speaking. Anybody, when you wake up tomorrow morning, if you feel the need to come join us, we'll be meeting in the newly renovated Little Theater at Compton College. Feel free to join us as we go through. I also want to give a shout out to Stacy, who said that we could wear t-shirts today. Maybe you might get the memo. I said to G, are we doing it? But anyway, first what I do is introduce our newly tenured faculty member. We have Thomas DeHart in psychology. Gayatri Manikandan in mathematics. Jose Martinez in mathematics. Miguel Ornelas in mathematics. Lisa Real, communication studies. And Shannon Williams in PE and baseball. And I should have said it first, but I'll say it now. If we can hold the applause till I get them all ready. Otherwise, we'll be here all night. Okay, next up is for years of service. Recognizing 20 years of service, we have Aurora Cortez Perez, in ESL, Shamira Lazar, English in ESL, and Rashid Yaki, Computer Information Systems. And 30 years of service, S.A. French Preston. And now we get to do the best part of this, is of course to introduce our new faculty. This year we have 4 new faculty joining the ranks at Compton. First up is Dominic Capizzola in reading. When Dominic is not in the classroom, he is typically remodeling and doing construction. Don Mason, Administration of Justice. positively inspire and encourage our students on their way to achieving their dreams. She also forgot that she does child development too. She's an overachiever. And Sophia Tess in nursing. Sophie is caring, loving, and crazy happy all the time. Welcome our Compton Tech.
Okay, so our list of faculty members for tenure is longer, so do hold your applause. It's 2 slides. All right, so we have Elizabeth Adamas, Fine Arts. Andrew Alvalar, Coach in Health Science and Athletics. Anna Brochet from Counseling. Got around it. Tanya Cole from Counseling. John Peromius from Physics. Kevin Degnan from English. Josh Escalante Troche, Business Management. Renee Galbany, Psychology. Megan Greenwich, Math. Chelsea Henson, English. All right. Zokotsoyan Herrera, Ethnic Studies. Yuko Kawasaki, Nursing. Felipe Leon, Philosophy. Zachary Marks, Math. Colleen McFall, Health Science and Athletics. Rad Tech. Mary McMillan, Library. Stephanie Mers, English. Brian Mims, Counseling. Andres Moina, Spanish. Brian Morrison, Sign Language. Jasmine Lee, Math. Melissa Sombeser, Business Management. Susan Stolovey, Physics. And Brian Turner, Chemistry. Big hand for our new So I noticed something about our anniversary list this year was much smaller than last year. I wonder why that was. So, 20 years of service we have, our anniversary recognitions. For 20 years, Kate Bailey, Resource Center, Special Resource Center. Griselda Castro, Counseling. Kevin Coogan, Industry and Technology. Marianne Leiby, Humanities. Lori Welsh, Humanities, and Janet Young, Behavioral and Social Sciences. For our 25 years of service, Tom Cody, Humanities. Joyce Dalal, Fine Arts. Tracy Granger, Health Science and Athletics. Joe Holliday, Natural Sciences. Chris Jeffries, Counseling. Vincent Lloyd, Natural Science. Susan Taylor, Mathematics. Ron Scarlata, Fine Arts. And Rosemary Swade, Fine Arts. All right, next we have 30 years of service. Lee Coca, Industry and Technology, and 35 years of service from Health Science and Athletics, Coach Jean Engel. Congratulations, and I think you get your award packets at the division meetings today. Now we have our new faculty. And let me say that Dr. Maloney really sends her regrets. Even when you're the president, you don't control your own life, so she couldn't be here, and that means you get pictures with me. I'm sorry. So Barb's going to read their bios.
And I want to thank everybody that had in the name my complainants. Okay, first up, Charlene Brewer-Smith, cosmetologist. Charlene is a mother of 3 children. She enjoys teaching, working as a hairstylist, and exhibiting her hair and makeup artistry for plays and hair shows. She also enjoys vacationing with family, hiking, and attending African dance classes. Jonathan Bryant, dance. Today is a multi-class. Jonathan loves collaborating and exploring new technologies. He has a 14-month-old daughter and is a Game of Thrones fan and is excited to be a warrior. forward to meeting her new colleagues. John Flynn, nursing. John says he is, as an El Camino graduate, it feels like great to be home. Brissette Giles, accounting. Brissette is proud that during the course of her education, she has studied Spanish, classical Greek, and biblical Hebrew. And although she hasn't maintained them, she has recently started learning Hebrew again. Lagee Mack. La enjoys swimming, volleyball, and of course teaching. Joe Hardesty, art. Joe is practicing artist and spends a lot of his time outside the classroom in his studio, participating in the rich and vibrant Los Angeles art community. He enjoys jogging, yoga, and the outdoors. Evan Hess, law. Evan has 3 rescue dogs and enjoys jazz music, Rangers hockey, and the Dodgers baseball. Ronald Martinez, mathematics. Ronald began his teaching career 15 years ago, and since that time has taught all levels of mathematics and worked with students of diverse backgrounds and skills. Maura Matter, English. Maura is a freelance writer and editor and practices yoga in her free time. Salvador Navarro. Salvador's favorite hobby is to travel the world. He enjoys traveling as it teaches his new ways of living, perceptions, and beliefs that he finds crucial to our human experience on this earth. Ruby Padilla, counselor. Ruby enjoys hiking and spending time with her younger siblings. Polly Parks, biology. Polly attended San Diego State University, yay, for her master's degree, where she began teaching with the local community college and fell in love with the work, and we all are doing better, and all of the work we're doing for better student success. Sydney Porter, accounting. Sydney is a certified public accountant who has worked in both government and private industry. He enjoys traveling in his free time. Daphne Ram, human development. Daphne spends time in Chicago working on community-based research and is very happy to be back in California, living close to her 2 adorable nephews. David Reed, political science. David is interested in economic and racial justice and for fostering greater dialogue across the partisan divide. He is an El Camino College alumnus and is happy to be back in the place where his educational journey began. Elaine Rodriguez, English. Elaine enjoys camping with her husband and twin daughters. She is elated to be part of the El Camino College family. Ken Sims, Computer Information Systems. Ken is passionate about investing in students' life learning, cybersecurity, bodybuilding, and running. Ken ran in the LA Marathon last year. Orion Teal, history. Orion received a PhD in history from Duke University, where he studied United States civil rights and labor history. He was born and raised in California and is thrilled to be back. Bruce Tran, cosmetology. Bruce just became a father. His hobbies are changing diapers and waking up every 2 hours. We should say those are just new habits. Sandra Uribe, history. Sandra was the first to graduate from college in her family, and while at UC Irvine participated in Travel Abroad program, which exposed her to new experiences, people, communities, as well as cultures. It left her with the travel bug. Robert Williams, counselor. Robert is the father of 3 boys. He is a certified scuba rescue diver, enjoys working on his Jeep Wrangler TJ, gardening, and going to the beach with his wife on the weekends. Please welcome the leader.
All right, so let me introduce now Nyla Lee to talk a little bit about professional development.
Good morning, faculty and staff and managers. My name is Naila Lee, and I'm the Senior Clerical Assistant for Professional Development and Learning. Today, our department will be presenting the 5 best practices to fulfill your flex obligation. We hope you enjoy it, and remember, our office is always of service and assistance. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm back. And a brother friend with me. Hey, some of you. It's not that loud for me. Okay, so Keith and I have a couple of announcements before we close today's general session. So thank you, first of all, Naila, for creating that very helpful video about flex requirements and procedures. Speaking of flex, the Faculty Development Committee works hard all year long to bring interesting opportunities for you to earn flex credit. Last year, we launched a new series, Informed and Inspired, and it was very successful. We're excited to bring it back again this fall.
We will meet on the first and third Thursday of each month at 1 o'clock. So mark your calendar for September 7th. That is our first meeting. And stay tuned to your email for more information. So you may have noticed a few people around campus this morning, or maybe this week if you're around campus, wearing an Ask Me button, like Gina. So years ago, El Camino faculty and staff wore buttons that read, "Ask me, I'm here to help." And the Outreach and Academic Senate have teamed up to bring back this initiative. Our goal is to have at least 1,000 faculty, staff, and student leaders wear these buttons during the first 2 weeks of the semester. You don't have to be an expert on everything about El Camino, just willing to help students and point them in the right direction. We're really trying to create a welcoming environment here, especially for our new students. So in that first 2 weeks, if we can wear those buttons, that would be fantastic. And yes, so thank you to Academic Senate Outreach for getting the buttons for us. So they are magnetic, they won't damage your clothing, and you can pick up your button today in your division meeting. For those of you who are our Compton colleagues, Veronica Martinez has more information on the Compton buttons. And now I will turn it over to Lupita.
Good morning, everybody. So, Lupita Smith, 30-year El Camino College employee, and I did not get to use the CERT, but I'm not bitter because I love El Camino. So Stacy and I have talked for the last year plus about trying to bring a wellness program to El Camino for our staff and faculty. To, again, because I love El Camino, I love you guys, to try and just keep us a little bit more fit, keep us moving, keep us, stop from getting sore. So we've talked about that, we thought, quit talking about it, let's just do it, right? So we're going to introduce it this semester. So we will start the Wellness Warrior Program. And we're going to start next week, right off, with our Rock and Roll Wednesdays. No burglary, but catching, right? We thought about different days, different times, and again, we just had to come up with, just start it, right? So next week, Wednesday, August 30th, we will start with our rollout recovery. Kim Jones is our trainer with the athletics that works with our athletes to keep them fit, keep them their muscles moving, active, and all that. She will do rollout recovery where she shows us how to roll out all of our muscles, there's major, minor, something so that you don't hurt your back. I had tendonitis. Kim shows me how to roll out my muscles. I can bowl with no problem. Bowling starts September 7th. So next week, Wednesday from 12 to 1, the East Activity Center is where we will do that. So if you can come with us, look at that. Wednesday, also at 2:30, we'll have a walking session. Rory Natividad, our Dean of Health Sciences and Athletics, will lead that. So if you meet at the southeast end of the Murdoch Stadium, they'll walk around the track. Rory has some fun stuff in store for all of you who can do that. We will do this every Wednesday. And hopefully, as it builds momentum, we will be able to build a program, add some new things. We have some ideas. We're trying to figure out logistics. So come on with us, let's just start it, right? Walk and roll, everybody. The other thing we want to do is to show our warrior pride, is to have a Warrior Wednesdays where we wear shirts. Some of you got shirts today. Sorry for the ones in the back. It wasn't the kids' fault. So, Warrior Wednesdays, walk and roll, wear your t-shirts. Thanks.
All right, so we hope you have enjoyed today's program. We want to give a special shout out to those who donated t-shirts. So thank you to Health Science and Athletics, to the bookstore, and to Outreach. Did you appreciate your t-shirts? Yes. So just a couple of quick announcements before we close out the general session. So we will stagger the lunches today so that they can accommodate all of us. So classified, you are invited to go to lunch now at 11:45. For faculty, we're going to make our way to our division meetings, and then lunch for us is at 12:45. And then, of course, we have 2 mandatory breakout sessions at 2 o'clock. And so with that, we hope that you have a fantastic day today, and best wishes for a wonderful fall semester. Thank you. discount.